everyone. I hope this finds you well and living your best life in Jesus Christ. I was looking through some old books the other day and I found my copy of Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. I was only about 12 or 13 years old when I first read it. It had been recommended to me by my English teacher who thought I might enjoy it. I remember, like generations of readers, being struck by the opening sentences. They're timeless in that they represent, in so many ways, thoughts and feelings that are, frankly, universal in all ages. If you don't remember them, it goes like this. This is the preamble. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was a season of darkness. It was the spring of hope and the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on it being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. Now, what's amazing is that this was written in 1859, and it still rings true. It outlines the world in which we jump from superlative to superlative, whipsawing back and forth between thinking everything's terrific and everything's just frankly horrible. The last line that I quoted is particularly telling. I'm going to read it again. Some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. I don't know about you, but I'd say that perfectly describes our media of today. Everything is either fantastic and wonderful or it's all horrible. If one were to listen to these voices for very long, one might just come to the conclusion that we're doomed. Just withdraw into a hole and pull the hole in after us. But the truth is that biblically, we're in the last days. The scripture is very clear that in that time, both the best and the worst will be happening at the same time, and that's the world we live in. In the parable of the wheat and the tares, Jesus paints a picture of the last days in which both God and the devil will be at work. And that's certainly the time we find ourselves in today. While this is a time of great upheaval, it can also be a time of unlimited possibilities for us as Christians and the church as a whole. And the reason I know this is because the scripture tells me so. See, the good news is that people will be coming to faith in Jesus Christ. In Acts 2:17, God says that in the last days he will pour out, quote, will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams. And even though this life seems chaotic and dangerous right now, nevertheless we're called to go forth in every way available to us and bring in the harvest, undeterred by the reports of the media and their extremes or the circumstances we currently find ourselves in. But there is bad news. The devil is seeking to undermine our faith. Paul told Timothy in 2 Timothy 3:13, but evil men and impostors will grow worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. See, right up until the return of Christ, a spiritual battle will be and is raging. We will see the good and the bad, the godly and the ungodly together. Revelation 12:12 tells us that, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. The scripture tells us that Satan is busy in these last days, and he's sizing up his opponents and varying his attacks and deceptions and ploys accordingly. Sometimes he attacks in all of his depravity and wickedness like a roaring lion, and we just can't help but respond, but at other times, he will attack more subtly, appearing as what the Bible refers to as an angel of light. That's why we need to be on the alert and be aware of his tactics, but we do not despair, and we don't throw our hands up and give up. As a matter of fact, it's a measure of our faith and commitment to the Lord that we continue to work and persevere in these troubling and difficult times. We're to build upon our faith, our hope, and our love for God and others. The thing is, we need to count our blessings every day. Look for the wonderful things the Lord is sending our way, and remember that no matter what the media may tell you, in many ways, these are indeed the best of times. If we are unable or unwilling to walk in obedience to Christ in times of blessing, what makes us think that we can or will remain faithful in the difficult times of life? Let us remember that The Lord continues to shower us with blessings and grace every day. By the way, that includes today. Let us face the future unafraid, boldly teaching and reaching the people around us. Let us remember that no matter how bad things seem, nevertheless, God is in control and the cause of Christ will be victorious in the end. Let's not despair that this is the season of darkness. Rather, let's make it a season of light, a season of the light of Christ. I hope you make today a terrific day. I want you to know that I'm here if you need me, and I love you all.